Russian guy, right? He can barely speak English, man. He's so aggressive. He's like looking at the bartender. He's just going like, he's like, you got the problem with me and shit. The guy's just like, he's like, you can tell the head bartender, he's like getting ready to make it a problem, right? And then the cash hits the floor, and dude, one of the bar backs was walking by and literally picked up a lot of cash this thing in an elastic band, dude. This shit was just falling out of this guy's bag, right? And then he starts going like, cause he was trying to drink me up already, right? He sat next to me, he's like, my friend, he like ordering tequila and shit, right? And then once people realized that this guy had such a fat stack of cash, the bartender goes, no, we're good, we're all chill, buddy, don't worry about it, blah, 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 blah. And this guy was like all down drunk, like so bad it wasn't even funny. And then I just get, honestly, it wasn't that much money, right? It was probably like a couple $1,000, but in like 20s, 10s, 5s, like you could obviously tell this guy was selling drugs and everything, right? He just started slapping money on the bar, like to everybody. Anybody who came up, he'd be like, 20. And I was afraid eventually, I was like, this guy isn't gonna pull some drunk shit and try to make a bunch of friends with money and then say I owe him, right? So right away I'm like, I'm not having the money thing, right? I'm just thinking like, fuck this, like, because then if anything hits the fan, he's like, well, what about my money? I give you money, you know? But like, I realized he was so drunk that he kind of wasn't paying attention when he kept like putting 20s in front of me. Like, alright, put it in my pocket, but I wouldn't make him like even acknowledge it, right? And then it got to the point where he just left, dude, and he was just gone. And oh yeah, he pulled out this big bag of weed and he was handing people nugs.
Oh
like,
my god.
Like nugs and money and nugs and money. And then I'm like, okay, this is too much. He basically paid my tab, right? I'm like, there you go, right? And then I left and he was standing outside and like, dude, at that point there was a whole group of people around him, right? Who were like interested in having some free shit, I guess, right? But dude, I don't like those games anyways, right? So I just walked past the guy and left, but that was pretty cool. I actually just remembered, oh yeah, that shit went down yesterday.
But you never know when it's going to be midnight though.
I don't know, man. That was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. But just like, man, just the dishonesty, you know, like, oh, so 1 second you're ready to throw this guy out, the next second he's now your best friend and he's staying at the pub because he had money.
Yeah.
And then after he went outside, dude, all the girls in the bar, remember I said like that power struggle that was happening between like the servers and the head bartender? They were choking because he took the money and he didn't kick the dude out, right? So it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. They were like, I was still sitting at the bar while I was playing my tab, and things like one of the servers came up to him and was like so fucking choked. You could just see it on her face. She's like, she wanted him out instantly because she was like, he was disrespecting everybody, man. The servers, the bartenders, like he fucking upset literally the whole bar within like 10 minutes of me. And then a watch all up, boom. And I even said to the bartender, like, oh, wow, so money really is the catalyst to this all, right? And you basically solidified it, like, yeah, money means everything. And I'm just like,
Well, at the end of the day, you know, when you're working in an industry like that, and someone has a lot, you're trying to get by.
yeah.
Make enough on your salary and stuff.
I never thought about it like that, right? But then you see the ways that people are obviously spending their money, and then you think, well, clearly you're never going to get ahead in this industry if you're literally buying a new outfit for every single shift. You know what I mean? Because you're dressed to the nines, you're spending money on your full sleeves, and then you're worried about like surviving. Like, come on, dude. You're worried about your image more than you're worried about anything. You know, so.
And so one of my, also like with Virgos and Whistler,
What is that?
the Virgos and Whistler.
Of course.
It's so nice because it's actually way nicer than other two, but then you have like all the cool, chill Australians and the British people.
Sick. And then do they still have like the $4.95 menu?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then you get the perks of that menu and also being in Whistler, so.
I remember in the one in Whistler, like a couple years ago, it used to be $3.95.
They make up for it with the drinks, but it's, you know. Damn, what do you do for work?
I have a day job.
Okay.
I was recently, well, not recently, but because of COVID, I lost my job. I have my own business on the side as well, so I have my own
Damn, what kind of work?
what I mainly do is I teach and mentor people to help ongoing income, like cultural personal development, and leadership. So I help people to be financially independent within 2 to 5 years. On the side of what they're currently doing in life.
Well, how's that?
Good. Very good.
For you or for them?
Both.
Yeah. All right. Well, it has to be, right?
Because it's nice. In order for me to, get what I want, I have to help people to get what
of course
they want. Right? So.
Damn, dude.
So it's actually generally nice to.
So like a pyramid scheme. You're like all wrapped in the pyramid schemes.
Not quite. No. See, like there are like legitimate pyramid schemes out there, but not what I do.
Well, shit. What kind of services or what do you sell?
Everything from skincare to vitamins and minerals. Because the company I work for, they were the first ones to make multivitamins 60 years ago. And then everything from sports nutrition to home care products to
wow, dude, I used to know a girl who did some shit just like that, but the thing about that is you basically just have to have a massive network. Once you have a massive network, then you can push it in whichever way you want. You know what I mean? Those services, and if the demand is there, you will fill the need, right? But it's just about having that many people available, like that many eyes, that, you know what I mean? So you're a networker. You're networking. Right now you're networking, buddy. Wow, this guy. Incredible.
But yeah, everybody does networking.
Do you have a card?
No.
You don't?
I don't carry cards.
That's not perfect. That's old school or what?
It's personal choice.
Just personal choice. Yeah. What if your card was so mind bending that somebody just couldn't resist the temptation of the message? You know what I'm saying? Like people got crazy with their with marketing. You know what I mean? Like what's something that you could hand somebody where they would have to look into it based on like maybe maybe like some origami or some shit. It's like I don't know, how do you sell? How do you
well, for the products I do have, obviously, every business needs to, have a product or service. Because if you don't have a product or service, you're an illegal business and so yes, there's products, that I can sell, but the main point to my business is actually to help people achieve what they want first. Because you live in society, in a corporate world, where just anything you do, everybody's all about BBB, or I get you to something and I hype up, sign up, see you later.
Exactly.
One thing that I like about what I do is that I actually have to help people succeed first before I get what I want. So that's actually nice. So,
well, unless you just got the sheer numbers. If you're signing up 100 people for a one-time purchase, then that's just as good as having returning customers. You know what I mean?
That's
if you're peddling, 1,000, pens. That's just as good as 10 people coming back for 100 pens.
That's very true.
So it's all how you look at it, right? So you buying your Mann meat, buddy.
Sorry?
What are you looking? What do you say? What are you like working towards? Is there a number or just like a goal?
Well, the goal is not in relation to number-wise, in terms of selling this in our business, e-commerce business, the company that we leverage. A lot of people think that you need to have thousands and thousands of customers to sell something, but rather you don't. The business is where by the time I got to work, I was always like mentally drained, but I was just so tired. So that's just my goal, is just to be retired by next year and continue to add value to people succeed also.
Yeah. Shit, man.
So,
Well,
but when you actually, at least for me, when you actually genuinely have an interest with people and actually know people, you don't just stop. It's
yeah, but it's the e-commerce isn't necessarily. I always hear the argument where, well, it's simplified and it's actually easier for you because the shit just comes to your house and everything from groceries to cosmetics to whatever. They always say all that, right? And it's like, yeah, if you're a very regimented person and you just like a product, a item, this, but like I'm pretty sporadic, so it's like when you change things up all the time and you're constantly, you're already inside the store, it's already all there. When you're just like relying on deliveries, that's a different world because it's like then you really have to have your scheduling down and know exactly what you're out of, what you need, and when it's coming in, and you really have to schedule your life around that. Rather than literally being like, okay, I'm just gonna go down to the store, and when I'm there, I'm gonna know, I have a list, and then if I see something else that I need, well, I don't care about $1 more because it's in front of my face.
So I find Amazon's like that, where you always have to constantly keep up with friends.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to like, as you say, go to a grocery store, it's already there.
Yeah.
So what we do, or we got leverage kind of like everything that you even buy on a everyday basis. You just have it. For example.
And then you get cash for it.
I get all my money back.
Yeah.
So for example, like the dishwashing liquid I got. I don't go to Walmart, so online, go to my house, and I got my money back.
Yeah.
But it's no different as if I was to go to like Walmart or say, for example, buy the exact same product. It's just.
Yeah, but what if it's out right now? It's like, okay, well, let me get my cash back and also not do dishes for 3 days. You know what I mean? It's like, there's, you know what I mean? Everything is work now, so it's just about whether or not you can mainline it, mainstream it to make that shit work for you, or spend more mental, like that sounds like you're using a lot more of your mental, space for things like buying dish stores and things like that. It's like, I don't know. Well, what are the profit margins like?
Well, it depends on.
Depends on the product?
Depends on, well, I can only speak for myself, but every company is different. But what I do know is our profit margins for the company I leverage has the highest profit margins.
Okay, what is the company sell?
Amway.
Sorry? Amway. Okay. Dude, I'll look into it. And then how do I look into your Amway? Do you have a store?
Yeah, I have a website and everything else.
What is it? That my phone's dead as well, so I don't know how we can do that.
I can text it to you.
Okay,
Yep.
604.
Oh, sure.
Because I'll check it out, but I'm a skeptic, man. So I look at every single goddamn angle before I go wasting my time on somebody else's future, bro. Because fuck.
I in the same way too. I say it's always good to be skeptical. I say it's good to be a positive skeptical and not a negative
You're right.
skeptical. What's it called?
604 217 6751.
6751.
Yeah. And Ron. Damn, that's a good name, dude. That's
It's
that's solid, dude. Solid name.
Sorry, you said 604
217
6751.
Yeah.
Because I'm always, not always, but sometimes in apps where we should hang out and grab things.
Yeah. Say what's up. Yeah.
We're, so how far from hiking do you live?
Oh, High Street Mall. I'm on the other side of town, but like Abbotsford's small. You know what I mean? In terms of like, it would only like you could bus across town in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not far.
That's really good though. It's not like Vancouver where it's so spread out.
Bro, it's like Vikings Day, like, because I was gonna SkyTrain it, right? I was downtown Vancouver. I was going like, okay, and now I'm on Kingsway, like from 12, like I biked out Commercial to Victoria, right?
Yeah.
And then what? Or Victoria and Commercial. Or no, Kingsway. I guess Commercial turns into Victoria, and then it was like Kingsway, right?
Yes.
So Kingsway and Commercial, or Kingsway and Victoria, all that. And I just started. I'm like, I'll just hit Kingsway, and like eventually I'll be in New West, and like I was just biking, and like, okay, Burnaby boundary, am I good, right?
Yeah.
I'm just into Burnaby now, and then like dude, it's so sprawling, right? That's why. That's where all the opportunities at if you're really looking, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I'm small town, so originally I'm from Golden, right? Golden, British Columbia.
Okay. I love that city. Or
Dude,
town.
interior as fuck. So like population 4,000 people, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's not the economy there sucks, right?
Yeah.
But dude, on a Sunday you can just relax, and everybody is just relaxed.
And it's beautiful there.
The stores are closed. You walk up to the store, like essential stores are open, grocery stores and the rest, right? But all small stores are closed, right?
Yeah.
People just go home on Sundays, right? They relax, and like you just don't have time for that at all out here.
Exactly.
Like, I just want to relax, bro. I don't care
Chill out.
about the money. I don't care about the money, dude. I almost make $30 an hour already, right? And it's just like, dude, I spend it quicker than I can make it because maybe I just don't have the value. I work hard for it, but I just, like, what's the point of living if you're just working?
Exactly.
It's so dumb. It's like, why?
Especially in a great
Next stop, 156th Street. 156th Street.